Hey, I'm Liz Loza, and this is Facts versus Feelings, your amuse-bouche to your fantasy focus main course. We are bringing more fantasy, more facts, more feelings, and of course, more fun. And now that I have your attention, today's fact is that being prepared is as important as staying present. It's producer Quentin. Welcome back to the show, Q.
Thank you for having me on. Obviously, today, preparedness. Gotta be honest, I don't know if your Bears were very prepared last Sunday, to be honest with you.
Wow, you do not talk to me that way when I'm in Los Angeles, but now in an actual room with you, you'll take shots?
Well, it might be riskier now that you're in a room with me, actually, because,
Do you not think I'm fast enough?
No, I think you're definitely fast enough.
After you,
let's not experiment. Maybe I'll take a step back there. To compliment you instead, you come very prepared. You've been doing a lot of shows since you've been out here.
I have been. See, that's what I like. I like that, and I also like when our viewers subscribe to the video and also leave us a voicemail. What's that number, Q? Because I don't have it ready.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna put me on the spot this time.
am.
I'm not gonna get my pants caught down like I did last time. Yes, 914-348. 1893. And Liz, when do we check that voicemail?
Mondays.
Sweet.
Hit the disclaimer.
Fantasy football is a game of inches, luck, and irrational confidence. Proceed with caution, trust your gut, and remember, side effects of listening to this podcast may include spontaneous victory dances, mild trash talking, and a belief that your sleeper pick is better than everyone else's. Take the facts of fantasy football seriously, but consult your feelings before making any lineup changes.
All right, Liz, obviously preparedness is the theme. We got to talk about a guy...
While staying present.
While staying present. A guy that needs to be prepared and present as he makes his start against the 49ers. Tyrone Tracy, what do you got there?
I think Tyrone Tracy, as we discussed on the Tuesday edition of the Fantasy Focus podcast, is going to end up being one of the most valuable waiver wire adds this season. He is presently, as of this morning and our recording, 78% rostered in ESPN Fantasy League. So good for you. Good for all of you who went ahead and set those waiver claims. Obviously, he is set to replace, unfortunately, Cam Scadaboo, who is dealing with quite the ankle injury and expects to be out for the rest of the season. It's weird, right? Because Tyrone Tracy is a converted wide receiver. His skill set is so different than Scadaboo's, and yet the volume figures to be there for Tracy, and that's why we want to add him. In fact, Mike Clay has Tracy projected to touch the ball 19 times in Week 9. Here's a fun fact. In 6 games last season, when Tracy managed 19 or more touches, he averaged over 17 fantasy points per game and over 100 scrimmage yards for contest. Obviously, the offense is different this year with Jackson Dart under center, but Dart has thrown to the position with more regularity than I think people are realizing, and the Giants offense is proving to be capable. I also think the matchup works out well, as the 49ers have allowed the 4th most receptions, again, Tracy, a converted wide receiver, to opposing running backs. I think Tracy is firmly locked into RB2 territory, not just for Week 9, but probably for the entirety of the season.
Well, you definitely have the stats to back up RB2 territory for sure. I don't know if he's going to replicate the same magic that we got from Scadaboo, but...
There were vibes there for sure.
There are some vibes there for sure. Speaking of vibes, Jordan Addison got his groove back. He was prepared while he was gone, and now he's present with the Vikings now that he's here. What do you got for Jordan Addison?
He started the season hot, right? In Week 4, he has, over his last 4 games, in every single outing, either cleared 100 receiving yards or found the end zone. He and Justin Jefferson are maybe the second or first most elite duo in the NFL. They are, in fact, the only pairing averaging more than 75 receiving yards per game, George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb being the other. That's really incredible, but here's the asterisk that people might not want to hear. But again, I want to prepare you for what's coming. That all happened with Carson Wentz under center. Remember, Addison did not play a single snap and has not even shared the field yet with J.J. McCarthy, who is expected to be the Vikings starter moving forward with Wentz now on IR. When Justin Jefferson started the season with McCarthy, underwhelming. Really underwhelming. And so I don't think we can expect Addison to continue to produce the way he had been over the last 4 weeks. Also, this matchup at Detroit looks good on paper. It looks like the Lions have been generous, but that Detroit Lions defense is getting healthier, especially coming off the bye. So I think it might be a little bit trickier than managers are anticipating. And that is why I think you have to consider Addison like a high-end flex, certainly a high upside flex, but more in the wide receiver 30 range, at least for Week 9.
All right, let's move down to Chicagoland.
Were you going to say something bad again?
No. I got to get out of the doghouse. We're going to say something positive. I'm going to be prepared and present and not get damaged today.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about your boy Colston Loveland. What are you seeing there?
Oh, I love that you're like, we're going to talk about something positive. A player with a ton of buzz that did not produce what he was expected to at the top of the season. Yikes. But that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I know the Ben Johnson's offense obviously took a minute to figure itself out. It's still a work in progress. And Loveland dealt with a hip injury early. But I think that the tides are turning in a positive way because Loveland has been more involved. Over this past 2 games, he managed a snap share of 67%. And then in week 8, that number jumped to an 80% snap share. Interestingly, he's taking a significant amount of those snaps as a wide receiver, both in the slot and out wide. So we love that versatility, particularly for fantasy purposes. Now, his week 8 numbers were by no means incredible, right? He caught 3 of 5 balls for, I think, 38 receiving yards. That's nothing, but those were season highs, and I do expect that number to continue to mount up. Right now, Luther Burden III in the concussion protocol. Also, Cole Kmet, the team's other tight end, dealing with a back injury, and as we all know, ain't nobody ever used to have a bad back, so I expect it to continue to be a problem. Finally, and I'm bearing the lead a little bit here, the matchup is fantastic because the Bengals have allowed the most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. They have additionally allowed 8 receiving scores to tight ends over the last 4 weeks. This game is projected to be close with a spread of just 2.5. It also projects to be high scoring with an over-under of 51.5. That should be a ton of opportunities for Loveland. I think right now he is the tight end to watch and could be one of the best streams of the week.
We'll see, Liz. This might be a very ticked-off Bengals team because of the way they played against the Jets.
I'm scared.
You're scared?
Yeah, I'm
You
super
should be,
scared.
probably, to be honest.
This is a safe place. It's a place where we can feel free sharing our feelings.
Now let's get comfortable on the couch and dive into some fantasy therapy, a safe space for all of your fantasy questions.
First up, we've got a voicemail from one of our listeners, Colin.
Hi, Liz. My name is Colin, longtime listener, and my question is Xavier Worthy still a wide receiver too? Thanks.
Oh, wow. So the short answer to this is no. And since Rashee Rice's return, Worthy is barely the Chiefs' wide receiver, too. I know that there was a lot of hope at the beginning of the season before he hurt his shoulder that he could really produce. But the truth is he has only had 1 game over 15 fantasy points, and that was all the way back in week 4. Since Rice's return, Worthy has barely produced. He has, in fact, yet to clear 5 catches and or 55 receiving yards. Now, there is an expected shootout at Orchard Park, so you would think that maybe the volume would be bigger, but the truth is the Bills are easier to beat on the ground than they are through the air. So when you're using Worthy, you're basically relying on a touchdown. And fun fact, or not so fun fact, the Bills have only allowed 6 receiving scores to opposing wide receivers. As such, I have Worthy ranked just outside of my top 30 fantasy players at the position. But thank you for calling, Colin, and thank you for being a longtime listener.
All right, Liz, this next question, the Oregon fan in me is quite excited for this.
Okay.
Berserk's second for life wants to know, is Troy Franklin suddenly becoming a thing? His chemistry with Bo Nix is certainly no outlier.
I appreciate the observation. And in fact, I think since week 2, Troy Franklin has been trying to become a thing. You know, that quelled for a little bit, but he has now drawn at least 8 targets in back-to-back weeks, and he's found the end zone in both of those outings. So yeah, he's definitely on the, quote, thing radar. The only problem this particular weekend is his matchup against Houston. The Texans have allowed the 4th fewest fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. In fact, in week 8, none of the 49ers wide receivers topped 55 receiving yards facing these Texans. So I would, maybe temper expectations this week, but good news, in week 10, the Broncos get the Raiders, and I do expect Franklin to bounce back beautifully in that outing. For what it's worth, Franklin, and this works with our theme, is still rostered in under 50% of ESPN fantasy leagues. So if you want to look ahead and stay prepared, maybe stash him now for that week 10 outing against Vegas.
Well, I'm quite hopeful that he continues to be a thing because I was one of the lucky few that got a Bimageddon dart throw on Troy Franklin.
Great for you. Good job.
Exactly. The fandom bias pays off. Speaking of which, Let's go to Daniel9755 Miller.
Okay.
What do you think of Christian Watson's return?
I think it was wonderful to see a player we believe to be explosive, look healthy on the field, look recovered from the ACL injury that he obviously sustained. He converted all 4 of his looks, so we like the efficiency, especially from Watson, who's maybe had some drop issues in his past, but he converted all 4 of those looks for 85 yards. Here's the problem. This offense, as we all know, is so frustrating because the target trees are not particularly narrow. LaFleur loves this, everybody can eat, same as Buffalo sort of idea, and it's going to be hard for Watson to hold on to fantasy relevant volume on a week-to-week consistent basis. Also, this particular week, the Packers are 13.5-point favorites against Carolina. So I don't imagine, this is a Josh Jacobs game, right? This is not a Christian Watson game. As such, I have him, I believe, ranked outside of my top 45 wide receivers.
Well, speaking of the everybody eats mindset in the Packers, I hope you eat with this next question.
Okay. Oh, no.
Irvin Tim wants to know, what's the Halloween costume this week?
I don't really know if I want to share that. If I'm being I would like to maybe be a surprise. So in the past, I was the Pink Power Ranger 2 years ago. That went over well. Interestingly, DMs were interesting on that one. I was a kitty cat last year, and this year I think I might just honestly, I have a t-shirt that says Little Ray of Black, and I might just wear that with jeans and carry around a Stanley full of rosé.
Oh, look at you. The rosé is a nice little touch there.
Well, it's either that or tequila and soda, but I don't know what mood I'm going to be in.
I think rosé is definitely the vibe in that one. On my end, though.
Yeah, tell me about you.
We're going to break out the Napoleon Dynamite outfit. We got the wig, the Vote for Pedro shirt, and the fake glasses, man.
I would so vote for Pedro these days. Joining us today is a creator who has carved out quite the role for himself in the sports world. You probably know him as @BenchwarmerBran on social. He's also the voice behind the Bran Coverage podcast. He's one of the funniest sports creators online. Please welcome to the show, Brandon Carney, here in Connecticut.
Yes, here in Connecticut.
We are here in Connecticut.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for coming. So you have this bit called Straight to Jail, and you're putting different tight ends in jail.
Correct.
I am a bit of a, some might say, tight end whisperer myself, so we're going to play a game inspired by our mutual affection or frustration with the tight end position. Okay, so basically, I'm going to give you a name. You're going to give me an immediate verdict. It's going to go rapid fire, and then you're going to tell us if that person or thing or concept is going straight to jail.
I love it. Let's do it.
You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
Let's begin. Chuba Hubbard.
Straight to jail.
Justin Fields.
Straight to jail.
Holding cell.
Straight.
We can
do holding cell. He's not in the best situation. His owner likes to slander him, but I want to root for him. He's just not that good. I don't know.
Chip Kelly.
I'll allow it for now. He seems to have gotten better about using Ashton Genty, so I'll let him slide.
Oh,
now.
You're an Ashton Genty stan?
Huge.
Me
too.
Huge
Ashton Genty
Okay, Ashton Genty or Saquon Barkley. Forget the jail thing for a second.
Ashton Genty.
Girl, we're gonna be friends. All right, next. People who still believe in Kyle Pitts.
Straight to under the jail.
Under the jail. Working at the jail.
No, they don't
Making
deserve
the
to. They don't
license
deserve to
plates?
be employed. Under the jail.
Wow.
Under it.
That is buried in the jail.
Yes,
that is rough.
absolutely.
All right, Labubu's.
Don't get it. Straight to jail.
Straight to jail.
Weird little gremlin things. I don't like it.
You don't want to put one on the back of your backpack on your zipper or something?
Absolutely not.
You don't seem like a big accessorizer to me, if I'm being honest.
No, not particularly. I got a little necklace. That's about all I got. I don't do a whole lot more than that.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Straight to jail, my second round pick. I've never been more angry at a player other than Kyle Pitts.
Okay, I love that you don't mince words about it. The Louvre Jewel Thieves.
Nah, they get to slide. That's a really funny crime.
They don't even get to slide. Where are we making the statue? Where are we erecting it? Where are we putting the statue of those thieves in the flipping Louvre?
We need more of this type of, crime in the headlines, not the actual violent stuff that seems to be, taking a little too much of the headline. This is like funny heist movie kind of stuff. I like it.
It's even, they smashed and grabbed the Louvre like it was a damn Lululemon.
I didn't even know that was possible in 2025.
I
had no idea you could still do that.
But that's why you and I don't have art pieces in our homes illegally.
No.
So, we definitely don't, just for everybody watching.
Don't check.
Travion Henderson.
straight to jail on the 3rd round pick. So it's not a great year for me.
Wow. What about your fantasy team? Where's that going?
Not great. However,
straight to jail.
Listen, straight to jail. Not great. Well, we can expand on that after, but it's not the best.
AI TikTok videos.
Straight to jail.
Same.
So weird. Just be creative. Like, just make your own videos. We don't need to do this. I don't know.
Using AI as a tool for said TikTok videos?
That's fine. I think it's technology that's getting better, and people got to learn how to leverage it. But, like, just doing AI stuff, like...
Straight to jail.
Yeah, straight to jail.
Last one. 6'7". I should go straight to jail after doing
I'm going to go straight to jail just to avoid that topic.
What about 41?
I don't even know what that is. 41.
Are you in group 7?
What? What is happening?
I'm going straight to jail. Just put me in jail.
What's happening?
I don't think I'd do well in jail, if I'm being honest.
I don't think I would either. It would not be a good.
We should not go straight to jail. All right, we are not going to jail, but that was fantastic. Thank you for playing along.
Of course.
I have to know, Brand, like, how did this whole creator world start for you?
Yeah,
tell us your story.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. So, I mean, I'll start back in, like, when I was going into college. I wanted to be a sports reporter. I wanted to do on-camera stuff. So I did that while I was in college.
Where'd you go?
UConn. So shout out, go Huskies. So out of college, it's hard to get an on-camera job. So I got a job at a news station as a producer. Then I got a job here doing production for 3 years. And then I wanted to do on-camera stuff again. COVID hit. They kind of just kept us employed, but we didn't have a lot to do, and we were obviously at home while that was all playing out. So I started experimenting with TikTok and posting videos because I just missed it so much, and it kind of just started snowballing from there. Stuff started doing well. I kept doing it in my free time, even when ESPN, brought us all back to work eventually.
Oh, you worked here?
I did. I worked
okay.
here. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, I just kind of kept building it, and then got to a point where, stuff was doing well enough, consistently enough that I was able to do it full time, and now I've been doing it full time for 3 years.
Okay, so I'm interested by this because my path seems similar to yours. I, though, started with a blog, and like us bloggers walked so you TikTokers could run.
Absolutely.
But
I blogged too. Back in the high school days, I was still getting my feet
you
wet.
don't need to, shots fired. Now I'm triggered. I was not in high school when I was blogging. Regardless, I was in college. Anyway, so when you say full time, because I understand this trajectory and how things just start to build momentum, and all of a sudden you're being asked to go on people's podcasts and your content is being shared, and you're like, my goodness, there's a snowballing, and you're excited. But like, there is also this interesting place where you're watching it all build, but it hasn't built in a way that it is sustainable financially, if I'm being honest. So like, what was that tipping point for you?
Yeah, I think the tipping point was probably I started working with another media company that I was doing some videos for, for both their profile,
like
and
a freelance situation.
Yeah,
okay.
A little. So they were paying me month to month, but there was no commitment, anything like that. And the money was decent enough that I was like, if I can get this every month, I will be able to just do this full time on top of trying to make money from TikTok and Instagram. And honestly, that landscape is ever changing as well with how much they pay you, even if you're...
And that's like branded content.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, not just branded content, like my original stuff as well. Like they'll pay you like by the views that you get just to keep people on the platform. So like TikTok will pay people directly, whether it's you're promoting an ad or not or anything like that. So, that stuff is always ever changing, even if my stuff gets the same views, because these platforms just like to decide to change how they want to pay people. And so it's always fluctuating, but I had that like stable amount from the other company I was working with. And so that kind of gave me the inkling I could probably do it full time. And then they dropped me like unceremoniously kind of, and I was in a panic, but I'm lucky enough that the reason I made the jump was that my girlfriend at the time, now fiance, was like,
congratulations.
Thank you very much. She was like, look, make the leap, try it. I'm working. You can, move in with me. And like, if it all goes to hell, you'll be able to get a job somewhere else. Like, leave ESPN. It's okay. Like,
bet on yourself.
Yeah. And they'll either, ESPN will either take you back, or you can get a job at NFL Network or whatever it may be. Like, you have the resume to be able to do something like that if that happened. So
did you give yourself like a time frame?
Not really. No,
okay.
I was doing
no deadline.
No, I was doing well enough view wise. Like, truthfully, it was a calculated sort of decision where like I was pretty sure I was going to be okay. I just didn't know how. So yeah, when that company dropped me and like I saw kind of my income just go away, other than the little bit I was making from the views themselves, I freaked out a little bit, and then it just I just kept posting. And I have wonderful managers as well that help me find wonderful partnerships that, paid me well enough to like make it a living. And now it's way better than I could have ever imagined it to be.
Nice.
So there were like brief scary moments, but I always credit my fiance Lexi for giving me that like security blanket at the beginning, just to kind of quiet the paranoid voice in my head of like, it's not going to work out. You're not going to be able to do it. Like no matter how much evidence I have to the contrary.
And you're paying the mortgage with your content creation capital.
Correct.
Damn, Bran, you're living the dream.
It's way different than I would have ever expected when I was walking these halls back in the day. It's crazy.
Awesome. So what advice do you have for other potential content creators? Maybe in the sports world specifically, because it is definitely a different animal.
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest thing that helped me and what helped my stuff take off was just thinking of what niche I could kind of fill in the space that wasn't being filled, or what I could do. I wouldn't say this to the people that are doing it, but like what I think I could do better than people who are already doing it. And so kind of one of the ways I broke in was like doing fantasy football skit videos. Like the Bus Anonymous series is the first series I ever really started doing. And to me, at the time that I created it, I was like, I'm playing fantasy football. I know we all get annoyed when our players do poorly. How can I turn that into content? Because TikTok was doing well, but nobody was really doing anything in that vein.
Yeah.
And so I was like, people would love to commiserate about their players who are doing poorly. So I'm going to yell at them. I'm playing every character of all the players who busted, but like, I'm going to yell at them. And then I know that that's going to generate comments of, oh yeah, this guy did that for me. Or why didn't you include this guy that busted for me? I think you just have to think like a viewer will help. Because then you can kind of figure out what you can make that will resonate with people.
Was it always fantasy that you wanted to go into, or just sports in general?
It was just sports in general. Fantasy was probably my biggest in just to the football world.
And did you specifically choose fantasy because of the niche space it takes up?
Yeah, at the time I did. And so I evolved it after that to like just doing general NFL skits, which is, I think, predominantly what I do now. I still do Bus Anonymous, but I do more of, I think, just the general NFL storyline content now. Okay. Fantasy got me into it just because I loved it so much. And because, again, I saw that gap in the space. And then once I built up my name through that niche, then I have the freedom to do whatever I want. And people will be seeing it and be like, oh, this guy's actually pretty good at it, even though other people were doing it too.
So you play fantasy then?
Yes.
And you said your team is Booty Cheeks?
Which team do I have to talk? Do I have to talk about the one I care about the most?
Yeah,
because if
you do.
So, it's that. Okay.
This is Bust Anonymous, baby.
All right.
But not so anonymous.
Cards on the table here. Drafted Brian Thomas Jr. second round.
Yeah.
Drafted Travion Henderson third round. Fell into the hype train. Despite all of that, I managed my team well enough around those missteps to be fourth in my league in points scored.
Points scored.
I understand.
Always
No, I understand.
The asterisk that
I
everybody
understand.
who's losing loves to point to.
Which is why I love to point to it right now.
Okay.
Because I can say over, like, this league has been around for 15 years. It's with all of my best friends from high school and all that. Yeah, so we all know each other very well. Like, the trade market rips every year because we just all love talking to each other, and there's so many every year. But yeah, so it's a fantastic league. And I can honestly say in the first 14 or 15, this might be year 16, I don't know, every year up until now, for better or for worse, my record always reflected how good my team was. This year it doesn't. So I'm just like, I know everyone else in my league has dealt with this more than once, probably. I haven't. So I'm like, I'm trying, man. Like, my team's good.
Isn't it amazing how even when you lose in fantasy, it can still be fun?
Yeah,
like,
it's
not
it's
as
still
fun as winning, obviously.
No, it's
but
still
the camaraderie, there is something very unique about fantasy that I don't want to stop playing even when I know I'm out of it.
Oh, I'm here to spoil everyone's day now. I am here. And we also, one of our buddies in our league, shout out to Brett, he keeps a spreadsheet of a bunch of stats throughout the entirety of the league that's existed. So like points scored, records throughout the year. So we just say when we get like pseudo eliminated from playoff contention, we're playing for the spreadsheet. We're playing to tack up those wins and
commitment. I love it.
Yeah, I still got something to play for.
Do you have a favorite start for week 9 specifically?
Yeah, so favorite start for week 9 is a guy that I loved coming into the year, and it just, I'm going to say, took a while to materialize. I'm hoping it's materialized by now. It's Travis Hunter. He was a guy I absolutely loved. I was like, look, the Jags gave up all of this capital to go get him.
And yet you drafted Brian Thomas Jr.
I did draft Brian Thomas Jr.
I won't say
no,
that.
I deserve it. Listen, I
I
understand. And I was like, they're going to use him like crazy. Like all this worry about him being a DB, I just didn't really care. And that didn't go well for the first half of the season. And then I think we kind of saw the dam start to break against the Rams. Then they head into the bye. I just think it's only up from here. Facing the Raiders this week, like, I just love the spot. I'm starting him in my league over a couple of other like viable options. I just think this is going to be the Travis Hunter that I thought we were getting to start the year.
I love it. Actually, I highlighted Travis Hunter as one of my players in my Facts versus Feelings column, which published today, but this will publish tomorrow. So you didn't even know that. So
yeah,
I love a little validation.
Oh yeah.
Not to end things on a negative note, but who is your most confident sit for week 9?
Most confident sit, it's tough because like I don't want to give a big name and try to be hot takey about it. So I'm just going to give a guy that's like on the radar. I'm going to say CJ Stroud up against the Broncos. I don't want to start a quarterback against the Broncos ever, especially one with that paper mache offensive line. I'm all good on that. So even though he's put together, a couple of decent weeks here now, even without Nico Collins last week, hopefully going to get him back. But like that does not sway me to want to start him, even in dealing with bye weeks and stuff like that. I'd be going a different direction.
I also don't want to start a quarterback against the Houston Texans defense.
100%.
That's going to be a defensive battle.
Absolutely.
All right, so any final words either on fantasy? Give me a hot take maybe for the season.
Hot take for the season. TreVeyon Henderson RB1 season is not over. That's my hot take. It's not over, and it may be next season, but he's coming. TreVeyon Henderson's coming.
TreVeyon Henderson will continue to inspire feels, facts, and plenty of content for both of us, I'm
100%.
sure. Thank you so much for coming. Do you want to tell everyone where they can find your work, the podcast, and the videos?
Yeah, you can find the videos at Benchwarmer Brand on basically every relevant social media. Sorry, I'm not on MySpace or Tumblr, but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those. I'm on there, even Twitter. So Benchwarmer Brand on those, and then the Brand Coverage podcast is on all audio platforms and also streams live on my YouTube channel, Benchwarmer Brand, every Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Thanks so much, Brand. Congratulations on everything. It's an awesome story, and you seem to be an awesome guy. And also, Lexi is awesomely lucky.
Agree. Thank you.
Last call.
Today we learned that rosé is the mature alternative to tequila and soda, that bloggers walked so that TikTokers could run and make loads more money, and that looking ahead doesn't necessarily mean getting in your head. We don't need to rush to the finish line because, believe it or not, we are going to miss this before we realize it. Big thanks to Benchwarmer Brand for joining the show and playing along, and to producer Quentin, aka Q, for the culture. Be sure to check out my Week 9 edition of Facts versus Feelings, the column, which is currently live on the .com. And remember, you can leave us a voicemail. That number I am prepared with. It is 914-348-1893. Until next time, may your facts be solid, your feelings be right, and your bus be someone else's problem.
Liz, watch me while I do this, though. When you go back to LA. Slide to the left, slide to the right. One hop this time.
All right, it is so weird to talk to you and not look at you.
I know, same. That was crazy. Okay, we need to let's just, unique New York. Unique New York.
Think about chairs, Q.
Chairs?
And tables.
And tables. Tables and chairs. I love lamp. Okay, here we go.
Slide to the left, slide to the right. One hop this time. Oh, there it is. Okay, slide to the left, slide to the right. One hop this time.
There we go.
Ah!